And lots of gold.
One being physically separate, but with a collective consciousness.
There are countless mysteries hidden beneath our feet, waiting to be uncovered. Every day, archaeologists dig through layers of earth, striving to reveal the secrets that lie in the dark corners of our past. While some discoveries make headlines, many more remain hidden, locked away in forgotten depths. From ancient artifacts to lost civilizations, the ground holds untold stories waiting to be told. Today we explore 15 most astonishing finds that were buried underground. Number 15. Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich manuscript, found in 1912 by an antique bookshop, is a 250-page book written in an unknown script and illustrated with a range of subjects, including female nudes, medicinal herbs, and zodiac signs. This mystery manuscript, now housed at Yale University's Beinecke Rare Manuscript and Manuscript Library, is thought to date back roughly 600 years and originated in Central Europe. Despite repeated attempts to understand its contents, the Voynich manuscript remains completely unintelligible. Some researchers speculate that it is a Renaissance-era hoax containing meaningless text, while others believe it is written in a previously unknown language or code. The manuscript's strange script and varied images have perplexed academics for decades. In February 2014, Stephen Bax, a professor of applied linguistics at the University of Bedfordshire, revealed that he had deciphered 14 characters and 10 words from the book. Bax's method required establishing appropriate names for distinct elements in the text, which is akin to procedures used to decode ancient scripts, such as Egyptian hieroglyphics. For example, Bax discovered the term for coriander and indicated possible plant names, such as the centaurea flower. The manuscript also includes astronomical diagrams, including representations of constellations such as Taurus. According to Bax, the document may be a Near Eastern or Asian natural history treatise. His work was impressive, but the manuscript's relevance is uncertain. Many cryptographers, linguists, and historians study the Voynich manuscript to solve its puzzles. Its cryptic script and intricate artwork make it one of history's greatest mysteries. Number 14. The Hobbit. In 2003, an incredible find was made on the remote Indonesian island of Flores. Scientists discovered the remains of a previously undiscovered species of hominin, Homo floresiensis, also known as the Hobbit. This moniker is derived from the hominin's small stature. One of the first recovered skeletons belonged to an adult female only 3.5 feet tall. Initial belief stated that the bones belonged to a person with microcephaly, a disorder that causes a small skull and short stature. However, further discoveries of similar-sized skeletons revealed that Homo floresiensis was a different species, not a deformed human. The first skeleton, LB1, was discovered in the Liang Bua cave and contained an almost complete head, limb bones, and a partial pelvis. Over time, the bones of at least 8 more individuals were recovered, lending credence to the theory that the species' diminutive height was common. The dating of the fossils and related artifacts revealed that Homo floresiensis lived from approximately 95,000 to 12,000 years ago. The Hobbit's skeletal features showed a combination of basic and evolved characteristics. Its skull resembled early Homo species, with a flat forehead and short face, but its teeth and jaws were more like Australopithecus. Analysis of wrist bones revealed that Homo floresiensis has more ape-like characteristics than modern humans. Along with the fossils, researchers discovered basic stone tools and animal remains, including those of Komodo dragons and stegodon, a sort of pygmy elephant. The presence of cut marks on animal bones and indications of fire use indicated that Homo floresiensis butchered and controlled fire. Homo floresiensis is still debated as a different species or a diseased variant of sapiens. Recent study suggests it was a separate species, maybe evolved from an African hominid that traveled to Southeast Asia. Number 13. The London Hammer. In 1936, Emma and Max Hahn stumbled upon a peculiar discovery while walking along Red Creek in London, Texas. They found a rock with a piece of wood protruding from it and decided to take it home. 10 years later, their son broke open the rock, revealing a hammer inside. The hammer looked modern, which was unusual because the rock around it appeared ancient. The hammer caught the attention of creationist Carl Baugh, who claimed that the rock was from the Cretaceous period, around 100 million years old. Baugh argued that this meant the hammer must have existed during the time of dinosaurs, suggesting it was evidence against evolutionary theory. However, experts provided a different explanation. They noted that the rock around the hammer was not as old as it seemed. The process of mineral deposition could create formations around objects in a relatively short time. In this case, the hammer was likely a modern tool that had been encased in rock formed by minerals settling around it. This process is similar to how fossils and other objects become encased in sedimentary rock. The hammer's head, made of 96.6% iron, is more refined than natural iron, aligning with tools from the late 1800s. Some of the wood on the hammer's handle had begun to turn into coal, further suggesting a more recent origin. Number 12. The Roman jar. Archaeologists made an extraordinary discovery after World War II when they discovered a jar full of holes in a bomb crater outside London. This 16-inch tall jar from Roman Britain dates back roughly 1,800 years and has perplexed experts with its unusual form. The jar was discovered smashed into 180 pieces and later rebuilt, but its exact purpose remains unknown. The jar was part of a collection of Roman artifacts donated to the Museum of Ontario Archaeology in the 1950s by William Francis Grimes, an archaeologist who had discovered them in a World War II bomb crater. The location was near an ancient Roman shrine devoted to Mithra, a divinity revered across the Roman Empire. However, the jar is not included in Grimes' official discovery records, and its actual origin is unknown. Several explanations have been presented for the jar's purpose. Some academics believe it may have been used as a lamp, with the openings allowing light to shine through. However, the hole in the jar's base calls this notion into question. Another suggestion is that the jar was used to keep dormice, a popular delicacy in ancient Rome. Roman writings contain recipes for making dormice, and jars with ramps were commonly used for this purpose, but this jar lacks those qualities. Another hypothesis is that the jar contains snakes, which were important in many ancient societies and faiths. Snakes might have been maintained in the jar through the various openings. The jar is part of a Roman Britain and ancient exhibit at the Museum of Ontario Archaeology. Researchers hope someone may recognize a comparable relic to help solve this old mystery. Number 11. Staffordshire Horde. The Staffordshire Horde contains the largest collection of Anglo-Saxon gold and silver ever discovered. This trove, discovered in 2009 by a metal detectorist in Staffordshire, UK, is made up of over 4,000 shards that combine to make over 700 unique artifacts. It was buried between AD 650 and 675, according to comparisons with related objects and carbon dating. The hoard consists mostly of combat gear, such as sword fittings, helmet decorations, and other military accessories, which demonstrate an extraordinary level of craftsmanship. The exact cause for the hoard's internment is unknown. According to theories, it could have been secreted as combat spoils, a ransom, or a religious tribute. The treasure was discovered in a field near Hammerwich, in the medieval kingdom of Mercia. This was a period of significant transformation in England when paganism gave way to Christianity. Notable items include a virtually full gold pectoral cross and a broken jeweled cross. These pieces, like with others in the trove, were most likely commissioned by affluent or influential people. The artistry of the artifacts suggests that some were created at the royal court of East Anglia, while others may have originated in regions with less advanced metalworking traditions. The hoard's most notable find is the rebuilding of a gilded helmet from thousands of parts. This helmet has intricate panels representing warriors and zoomorphic motifs, which provide insight into Anglo-Saxon military clothing and artistic style. Christianity is represented in the Staffordshire Horde by crosses and religious book and container fittings. These relics illuminate early Christian material culture in Anglo-Saxon England. The Horde has changed our view of Anglo-Saxon civilization, displaying a lively mix of creative and religious behaviors from a key time. Number 10. Roman bronze statues. An incredible discovery was unearthed in Tuscany. More than 24 well-preserved ancient Roman bronze statues buried beneath roughly 6,000 coins. These statues, depicting gods such as Apollo and Hygieia, were discovered on the site of an ancient bathhouse in San Casciano dei Bagni, a hilltop village in the Siena region. The excavation, which began in 2019, discovered that the statues were purposely buried in hot waters as part of a ritualistic offering between the 2nd century BC and the 1st century AD. Jacopo Taboli, an assistant professor at Siena's University for Foreigners who conducted the dig, revealed that the rite involves placing items into the river in the hope that the water would return something valuable. The statues were discovered covered with a mix of bronze, silver, and gold coins, which helped keep them in excellent condition. The hot, murky waters of the baths played an important part in keeping the sculptures looking as if they were freshly immersed. This finding is regarded as one of the most remarkable since the riot's bronzes were unearthed in 1972. The statues and coins were discovered in a bathhouse that served as a sanctuary at a time of significant change in Tuscany, when the province transitioned from Etruscan to Roman rule. The statues show a distinct combination of cultural elements during a period of significant political and cultural change. The dig uncovered 24 huge statues and numerous smaller ones, all fashioned of bronze rather than the more usual clay. Some inscriptions in Etruscan and Latin linked the statues to prominent local families. The items are currently being restored in Grosseto and will soon be shown in a new museum in San Casciano, providing a unique perspective on ancient Roman religious rituals and social dynamics. Number 9. The Magic Mirror. At the Cincinnati Art Museum, an ordinary bronze mirror that had been preserved for decades has revealed an extraordinary secret. The mirror, which dates back to the 15th or 16th century, has a hidden feature. When light is shined on it in a certain way, it reflects an image of Amitabha Buddha. This sort of mirror, known as a magic mirror, originated in ancient China and was later manufactured in Japan. Curator Hao Mei Sung uncovered the mirror's secret in 2021. She suspected it was a magic mirror since it resembled similar items from Edo period Japan. Sung and a conservator used a cell phone flashlight to investigate the wall, initially finding just a hazy texture. However, with more focused illumination, a clear image of the Buddha appeared, encircled by beams of light. Amitabha, the Buddha's name, is etched on the reverse of the mirror in Chinese. Magic mirrors were employed as holy ornaments and may have been displayed in temples or noble homes. They were made by casting images or patterns on one side of a metal plate. The opposite side was polished to make it reflective. The plate's varied thickness plus further treatments, such as a mercury-based material, resulted in subtle curvatures that revealed concealed images when light struck the surface in a specific way. Number 8. Shanshan Relic. Archaeologists from southwest China made a huge discovery at the Shanshan site, unearthing 13,000 relics dating back over 3,000 years. The relics were discovered in 6 sacrificial holes in Chengdu and include gold, bronze, and jade. One of the most spectacular discoveries is a bronze and jade turtle shell-shaped box that is both unique in design and craftsmanship. This vessel, the first of its sort unearthed on the site, remains intriguing because its specific purpose is unknown. Another significant discovery is a roughly 3-foot-tall bronze altar, which was most likely used to make offerings to deities and ancestors. The sacrificial pits also contained evidence of bamboo, reeds, soybeans, livestock, and boars, indicating the types of offerings used. The Shanshan culture, linked to the ancient Shu monarchy, left no written documents or human remains. The discoveries at Shanshan are expected to shed light on this mysterious society. The last dig yielded 3,155 relatively complete antiquities, including nearly 2,000 bronze objects and statues. The variety of these artifacts points to considerable cultural contacts between ancient Chinese civilizations. For example, statues with human heads and snake bodies are typical of Shu culture, whereas ceremonial containers known as zun are associated with China's Central Plains. Number 7. Aztec Sun Calendar Stone. The Aztec Sun Calendar Stone, also known as the Sunstone, is a large basalt sculpture discovered in 1790 in Mexico City. This massive item, weighing over 24 tons and spanning 12 feet in diameter, was buried by Spanish conquerors in the 16th century when they overthrew the Aztec kingdom in 1521. The Spanish covered it with rubble and constructed a cathedral on top of the Aztec temple that had stood there. The Sunstone was uncovered during restorations and initially embedded in the cathedral's western tower. The stone was relocated to Mexico City's National Museum of Archaeology and History in 1885, while General Porfirio Diaz was president. The Sunstone is known for its elaborate design, which has a central figure of the sun god Tonatiuh. This picture, which includes intricate calendrical and astronomical symbols, shows that the stone was primarily utilized for ritualistic purposes, such as human sacrifices. In 2017, researchers interpreted the central artwork to symbolize an eclipse, which the Aztecs felt would bring the world to an end. The stone's intricate design incorporates a calendar system with 2 cycles, a 260-day religious calendar and a 365-day agricultural calendar. Every 52 years, these 2 calendars would coincide, resulting in an important ceremonial known as the New Fire Ceremony, which included sacrifices to ensure the sun would continue to rise. The stone was hand-carved between 1427 and 1479 at an era of rapid Aztec calendar development. It also has glyphs that represent the date 13 Reed, which is thought to be its genesis date in the ritual calendar. Number 6. Dead Sea Scrolls. Khirbet Qumran, located near the northern border of the Dead Sea in the West Bank, is well known for the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls. The scrolls were discovered in 1946 and 1947 by a shepherd named Muhammad ed-Dib. While looking for a lost goat, he came across a cave containing ancient documents. This discovery resulted in the discovery of approximately 900 manuscripts in 11 caves, with a 12th cave excavated in 2017. The Dead Sea Scrolls contain texts from the Hebrew Bible, including Genesis, Exodus, and Isaiah, as well as calendars, hymns, psalms, and community laws. The Temple Scroll, the largest of the Dead Sea Scrolls, measures approximately 26 feet. The scrolls range in age, with the Copper Scroll, which describes buried wealth, potentially dating a few decades later. The majority of the scrolls are written in Hebrew, with some in Aramaic and others in Greek. They were mostly written on leather, although textiles discovered beside the scrolls were utilized as apparel. Qumran was a small village of no more than 1 acre that was first constructed as a Hasmonean military garrison around 100 BC. Following the Roman conquest in 63 BC, the site was used for civilian uses. Archaeological evidence, including the extension of the water system, indicates that the site had 8 stepped pools, some of which may have been utilized for ritual baths known as mikveh. Pottery manufacture may have contributed to the increase in water supply, as vast volumes of pottery shards and a thick layer of potter's clay were found. Qumran's cemeteries, which contain over 1,000 burials, are dominated by adult men, indicating a monastic or sectarian group. The scroll's relationship to Qumran is unclear. The Essenes, a Qumran Jewish group, may have hidden the scrolls, while refugees escaping Roman soldiers may have done so. Now it's time for our subscribers' pick. What scientists found inside this place shocked the world. In 1974, farmers digging a well near Xi'an, China, made a remarkable discovery. They discovered the Terracotta Army, a vast collection of approximately 8,000 life-size clay soldiers, 130 chariots, and 520 horses. These statues were built to guard the grave of Emperor Qin Shi Huang. who died in 210 BC. Every year, millions of people visit the monument, which consists of 3 huge pits known as the Army Pits. However, the emperor's actual tomb remains unopened due to concerns about ancient booby traps, which according to historical tales include crossbows and rivers of mercury. Farmers discovered clay warrior figures, prompting a bigger archaeological inquiry. They discovered 3 large trenches containing thousands of terracotta soldiers, chariots, and horses. These figures were expertly made with distinct characteristics and remnants of their original paint. The pits are merely a small portion of the enormous burial complex. The first emperor, formerly King Ying of the Qin Kingdom, unified China by military conquest and crowned himself emperor in 221 BC. His colossal tomb complex is 6.3 square kilometers and features a vast burial mound encircled by a network of trenches and structures. The army pits, located apart from the main tomb, contain intricate figures of soldiers, each one unique and symbolizing a distinct military function. Bronze chariots styled like those used by the emperor, pits filled with terracotta officials and animals, and unusual stone armor thought to ward off evil spirits were among the other discoveries uncovered within the site. Some holes even have entertainers and a water basin, implying a grand view of the afterlife. Despite continued excavation operations, several portions of the tomb remain untouched to avoid harming the site or setting off old traps. Number 5. Rosetta Stone. During Napoleon's war in Egypt in July 1799, French soldiers discovered the Rosetta Stone at the city of Rosetta, east of Alexandria on the Mediterranean coast. Officer Pierre-François Xavier Bouchard unearthed the stone while building new defenses. The Rosetta Stone is a dark-colored granodiorite slab with inscriptions in 3 script: Egyptian hieroglyphics, Demotic script, and ancient Greek. The soldiers were first concerned in robbing materials from ancient constructions. Therefore, the finding of this artifact was completely accidental. The Rosetta Stone's significance became clear when it was discovered that the inscriptions reflected the same text in 3 languages, providing a critical key to deciphering Egypt's then mysterious hieroglyphics. After the French were defeated by British and Ottoman forces in 1801, the stone was handed over to Britain as part of the Treaty of Alexandria. It was then brought to the British Museum in 1802, where it has been on exhibit ever since under the registration number BMEA 24. In 1822, Jean-François Champollion, a French researcher, successfully decoded the ancient writing, paving the way for a better understanding of hieroglyphics. Champollion, who had studied Coptic, utilized his skills to decipher the hieroglyphic characters and disclose their phonetic values. His research established that Egyptian hieroglyphs were a blend of phonetic and ideographic symbols, transforming the study of ancient Egypt. The Rosetta Stone's historical background emphasizes its involvement in colonial power conflicts in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. It represents not only scientific achievement, but also the intricate interplay between cultural heritage and colonization. The language on the stone, known as the Memphis Decree, commemorates Ptolemy V Epiphanes' inauguration and details the king's charitable gestures toward the Egyptian priesthood and temples, showing the interaction between royal authority and religious influence in ancient Egypt. Number 4. Sutton Who. In the 1930s, Edith Pretty, the owner of the Sutton Who estate, began examining 18 mysterious mounds on her property and sought assistance from local amateur archaeologist Basil Brown. They discovered a spectacular burial chamber beneath the tallest mound, known as Mound 1, which contained a gigantic ship and an assortment of Anglo-Saxon relics from the 7th century. This finding, known as the ship burial of King Redwald of East Anglia, is regarded as one of the greatest archaeological finds. The Sutton Who ship burial is notable for its lavishness, with the ship surrounded by 263 luxury goods from Europe and Asia. Among the most well-known discoveries is the Sutton Who helmet, one of only 4 surviving Anglo-Saxon helmets. The elaborate artwork features soldiers and a serpent-headed beast, Another notable discovery is the bronze hanging bowl, which has a rotating metal fish and is thought to have been used for hand washing. The bitumen discovered in the grave, which was previously considered to be tar, was recognized as Syrian bitumen, a rare and valuable substance. Byzantine items were also uncovered, including silver spoons engraved with Greek names and a big silver platter from Constantinople with intricate figures. The tomb also included a purse containing 37 gold pieces, which helped date the discovery to the early 7th century. Other objects included a sword with a wooden sheath lined with fur, indicating that the man may have been left-handed, and a gorgeous gold clasp used to fasten belts. The ivory gaming piece, believed to be a king piece from a game set, demonstrates that gaming was a component of Anglo-Saxon society. Additionally, the big, finely carved whetstone could have acted as a ceremonial scepter. Despite the magnificent collection of artifacts, the body was absent because the acidic soil destroyed the bones. These relics, now on show at the British Museum, offer a fascinating view into early Anglo-Saxon life. Number 3. Tutenkuns Tomb. Tutenkuns Tomb, discovered by British Egyptologist Howard Carter in 1922, contains some of ancient Egypt's most astonishing antiquities, such as a golden chariot, a golden throne, and the young pharaoh's iconic death mask. This discovery created international headlines and provided vital insights into ancient Egyptian life and burial traditions. Modern technology has proven that Tutankhamun had a damaged left leg that grew infected, as well as malaria. Some researchers believe that a subterranean burial chamber for an Egyptian queen remains uncovered in the tomb. Tutankhamun rose to the throne at the age of 9 during Egypt's 18th dynasty. His reign followed a contentious time under his presumed father, Pharaoh Akhenaten, who switched religious worship to the sun deity Aten and relocated the capital to Akhetaten, modern-day Amarna. Following Akhenaten's death, Tutankhamun reinstated traditional Amun worship and relocated the capital back to Thebes. Tutankhamun married his half-sister Ankhesenamun, but they had no children. Therefore, the succession is unclear. He died at the age of 18, and the actual cause of death is still questioned, with theories ranging from chariot accidents to head trauma and even a hippopotamus assault. Following his death, his advisor Ai married Ankhesenamun and succeeded him as pharaoh. Carter first entered the tomb in November 1922 and discovered 12 steps leading to the burial room. When Carter opened the tomb with his financial sponsor, Lord Carnarvon, he described a site filled with gold and antiquities. The innermost coffin, constructed of pure gold, was initially coated with black pitch, a substance used during the burial. The death mask is composed of 2 sheets of gold and weighs 22.5 pounds. It has a striped Nemes headpiece, a false beard, and guardian deities. The mask's back bears a Book of the Dead incantation intended to guide Tutankhamun in the afterlife. Number 2. Crocodile Mummies. In 2019, scientists working at the Kubbat al-Hawa burial site in southern Egypt discovered 10 mummified crocodiles dating back over 2,300 years to the pre-Ptolemaic era, before 304 BC. These crocodiles, which ranged in size from 6 to 11 feet long, were discovered in an extraordinarily good state of preservation. This is remarkable since mummified crocodiles from this period are extremely rare and frequently only partially preserved. The majority of ancient Egyptian crocodile mummies were preserved using traditional procedures such as resin and linen wrapping. However, the crocodiles discovered in Kubbat al-Hawa were preserved in a different manner. Instead of utilizing glue and wrappings, these crocodiles underwent deliberate natural mummification. This approach required burying the crocodiles in dry sand, which naturally dehydrated their corpses. As a result, these crocodiles' skin and teeth remained astonishingly undamaged, giving them an almost lifelike appearance. The discovery includes both full skulls and incomplete skeletons. Unlike most mummified crocodiles, which are usually hatchlings or juveniles, all 10 of these individuals were adults. The tomb's contents offer a new perspective on Egyptian rituals, exhibiting a previously unknown crocodile preservation process. Crocodiles are classified as two species, Crocodilus suchus and Crocodilus niloticus. The lack of resin and elaborate wrappings in the preservation technique indicate that this approach predates the widespread use of resin, which became popular during the Ptolemaic period. The crocodiles were most likely interred before this time, perhaps 2,500 years ago. More research and radiocarbon dating are required to refine the precise dating and details of this preservation process. Number 1. Golden tongues. Archaeologists uncovered an astounding find in February 2021 at the Taposiris Magna Temple near Alexandria, Egypt. They discovered ancient mummies with golden tongues dating back about 2,000 years to the Greek and Roman civilizations. This burial site had 16 rock-cut tombs, and the mummies were found in varied degrees of preservation. Gold tongues were made from gold foil and placed within the deceased's mouths. This technique was supposed to assist the dead communicate with Osiris, the god of the underworld, in the afterlife. Osiris was a key character in ancient Egyptian religion, thought to judge the souls of the dead. Among the objects recovered were gold foil amulets shaped like tongues, which were most likely designed to assist communication with Osiris. Archaeologists also discovered a woman's death mask, 8 golden flakes from a gold wreath, and 8 marble masks going back to the Greek and Roman periods. The funerary mask, in particular, featured complex decorations. 2 mummies with golden tongues were discovered separately at the Oxyrhynchus site, increasing the total number of such finds to 16. These Roman-era mummies had gold tongues implanted inside them to secure their capacity to communicate after death. This practice was founded on the notion that gold was the flesh of the gods. Hence, utilizing gold in the mummification process would allow the departed to connect with Osiris. The Oxyrhynchus excavation also uncovered 3 massive underground burial sites known as hypogea from the Ptolemaic period. 9 stone sarcophagi with human motifs were discovered, as well as more than 30 mummies wrapped in colorful cartonnage. Terracotta figurines showing a mix of Egyptian and Greek deities were among the additional objects discovered, adding to our understanding of ancient burial practices and religious beliefs. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more exciting ones.